Hello again, and welcome back to part 2 of Contender to Eternal with Rime. Just continuing where I left off the last video, gonna play a little bit more here. I also didn't even notice that, yes, we're also earning this tier of rewards as we do dungeons. So we also get some gold over here. We have gotten some contender done, so we've got 100 dungeon rating. We get random item level 30 equipment, so some shoulders. Those might be good for us. We get some marks of fellowship, and we get an unstable mithril, which is a crafting material that, again, I don't necessarily recommend that you use just yet. So let's see, go over to our hero. Shoulders, yep, those slip right on. We're item level 13.1. Rewards, what else do I have here? Did we do some of these holiday bosses or something? Oh, maybe we did. Well, if we didn't, they're available to be used. Okay. Cool. So we've spent talent points. We just got some gear. At this point, I forget how many supplies I started this account with. I want to say I had maybe like 22. So I'd probably have 30 supplies right now as well. So if you do want to get gear, which I could do, and we're also getting a little bit of gold and stuff like that at this point. You could get this level 15 starter gear if you really were uncomfortable starting contender kind of naked, like I was, which I think we went straight into a contender for. But you can also just buy item level 75 gear here for, you know, various levels of supplies. The reason that the prices vary is because, you know, certain pieces of gear have more stats on them than others. So, like, you know, a chest piece has more stats on it than, say, a cloak. So the chest piece is more expensive. So you could buy that stuff and slide it on, and that's a lot of item levels. I mean, I've got bare slots here, so if I started with, say, 22, I might have already earned, like, 30 supplies so far, because we're getting some from rewards. We're getting, it felt like maybe 8 or so at the end of dungeons. So, you know, we might be able to afford to buy 3 pieces out of here if we wanted to. And we didn't want to play in contender for too much longer. But I'm okay playing in contender, kind of taking it a little bit slow and just not even spending anything. So that's fine. Gonna see if these guys want to play some more, and if not, then I'm gonna find a new group, so back in a sec. Alright, the previous group disbanded. I figured I'd go a little bit more into at least my current understanding of Rime to maybe try to simplify things for newer players who are trying to get through their contender, their quick play, whatever it is. So basically, your cold snap is instant speed, and it's got 2 charges, and every time you use one, you get a winter orb, like this, right? So, you really want to use, it seems like, I mean, it's probably not 100% correct, but you really want to use one or both of these whenever they're up, because if it ever hits 2 charges, then you're not recharging it, and therefore you're losing resources. So you want to keep it, you always want to keep it below 2, and it's probably fine to use both most of the time. And then your Freezing Torrent, which is your channeled ability that just does single target damage, and as it channels, it gives you resources. You want to use that whenever it's, you know, kind of up off cooldown for the most part. Because, again, you're wanting to generate resources, and it's got a 15-second cooldown. And then your Bursting Ice, which puts it on a single target, and then it pulses AoE damage to that target and everything around it. Also generates your resources, so you want to use it when it's up, and then spend it on your single target or your AoE ability. So, really, you kind of just want to use your Cold Snap when it's up, and then whenever these are up, go ahead and channel your Torrent, do your Bursting Ice, and then spend before your stuff caps. These 2 abilities, this is a 15-second cooldown, this is a 10-second cooldown. It seems like if you use the Torrent first because of the channel time that it takes, and then the cast time of this, they sync up pretty well. Like, now they're both at 10 seconds, so they'll both be up again, and then I'll cast both again and get the resources again. And then whenever I don't have any cold snaps or these 2 abilities up, and I'm not spending, that's when I'm going to be casting my frost bolts, which just do a little bit of damage and slowly generate me orbs. Your ice blitz gives you 20% more damage for 20 seconds. You're probably going to want to use that mostly just when it's up. Sync it with other cooldown abilities if possible. We don't have everything unlocked yet. And enjoy your 20 damage boost while you have it. And your ultimate is also a 20% increased damage boost, so I don't know, let's say we use it now, we cold snap, we do this. There's our orbs, and then our spender, this one becomes instant cast. I don't think our AoE becomes instant cast. Well, I guess our AoE is already instant cast, so yeah. So we just want to generate, and then we can dump a lot of our particularly our single target spell quickly when our ult's up. And probably want to sync it with other cooldowns as we unlock them. Then, of course, your dash, you just use that for your mobility, to dodge things, to reposition how you need to or want to. Your interrupt, very important, probably the most important thing almost at all stages of the game, is trying to identify which casts are really going to be harmful. You want to use your in the key binding settings here, set interrupt target, set that to whatever key you're comfortable with. You've got one to trigger your interrupt target, and then when you have both of those done, we can go down to the multi-target dummies over here, but, you know, I can pick this as my interrupt target. I can also be targeting this one and still kick that one without having to switch targets. That way, I can sort of almost monitor two things if I want to, although the one that you pick is going to show your group that you are saying that you can interrupt it, and that, you know, whether your interrupt is on or off cooldown. And then the other important thing, particularly as you're getting through Contender and getting into higher leagues, is to start using your defensive ability a lot. Your Frost Ward, 30-second cooldown, so you can get a lot of uses out of this throughout the dungeon. You're going to take 40% reduced damage from 4 seconds when you use it. So getting used to when bosses deal big bursts of damage to you, your group, or I don't know, if you happen to pick up aggro on a mob, or you notice that a mob targets you, or just any sort of damage that you know is coming. You want to use this preemptively, hopefully before the damage starts, because once it starts, you might take a big chunk, and at that point, 40% reduced damage might not be enough to save you from whatever's coming next. So that's kind of all the abilities that we have so far. It's not, it doesn't seem that complicated, so I don't know, pop my, increased damage over here. I guess I should have popped ult, spend, put this on cooldown, spend, have another cold snap, spend, waiting for stuff to come up, spend, frostbolt, okay, this is off CD, use it. Do I still have any time left? Yeah, that was free. Okay, that was free instant speed. Do I still have any time left? No. Now we're back to slow casting our Glacial Blast Spender. So that's kind of where we're at right now with Rime. And yeah, this queue time right now is pretty long. I am playing kind of very off-peak hours for the game. I don't think it's normally like this at all, but if you are playing in sort of off hours, end of season sort of a thing, you might run into some higher queue times. You can always switch servers if you want to play with a little bit of a higher ping and go play on EU or something like that if you're interested in that sort of thing. So give it a couple minutes here for something to fire, hopefully, and then I'll be back with some more gameplay. I guess another potentially quick important thing to mention here is just that with our talents, with this Winter's Embrace, or with our Bursting Ice active, we gain Winter's Embrace, causing us to deal 20% more damage. We definitely want to make sure that we get to cast multiple of our spenders in that window, or at least as many as possible. And you have your ultimate up, like this. Alright, so we're gonna have a bunch of orbs. Right now they're instant cast, so here's my bursting ice, and I can go spend, spend, spend. And potentially as we get more haste, we can maybe even fit more into that window there. So, yeah. Alright, I got in a group. This time just for a Silken Hollow 1. Which is fine. This only drops item level 15 gear, so it doesn't necessarily help us a lot. I mean, we've got a lot of slots where we don't have any items, so we can still get something pretty good. I will try to provide some more commentary on the mechanics of the dungeon itself, since I know that probably a lot of potential people that would be watching don't know what that stuff does, so yeah. These little things don't do much, the face stabbers. They just, they jump towards, like, a random target and they do some damage. It's really not enough damage to, I would say matter, even, really. Not at this, difficulty. I mean, I don't really even want to spend anything. They're gonna just die so fast. Probably some very new players here. We're pulling pretty small, but, that's okay. So yeah, just whatever, spinning my AoEs and stuff when I can. Looks like we're leading damage so far. That's fine. Yep, Bully Basher here. Looks like maybe Contender 1 you don't even get a timer. No worries. So we get some AoE down there. Finish this stuff off. Sure. Want to do these? That's fine. We'll just take this opportunity to maybe just build resources even, because they're not going to be alive long enough to do anything. The Bully Bashers that we just passed, they have a ability called Together Strong that you can interrupt. It's a cast bar, but I don't know if they have it on this difficulty or not. I didn't see them cast it there. So yeah, this is untimed, so we get to take our time. So for those of you who are watching the previous video and you saw me hop into Contender 4 or whatever it was that I queued into and people wanted to run despite me having no item level, just realize that you don't even necessarily start with a timer in these, so... Sure. Guess I'll use a cold snap there just to get it on CD. Okay, a carrion horror here. Oh, I've got aggro. Okay. Guess I should do this and then try to get my AoE off before... Guess I can channel on that for some resources. I guess I can use a cold snap there. Oh, a bunch of spiderlings, sure. I guess I can get some damage in. Sure, I guess I can bursting ice. Maybe I should have picked one of the higher health ones. Sure, cold snap, it's gone. Okay, this is a kidnapper. Okay, and a horror. The kidnapper has a kidnap cast where it like drags someone across the screen. This is bursting blood. I don't want to watch out for that. And then these swirls on the ground come here. Alright. Okay, this is a pretty big pull. I will pick one of these and kick it in. aggro, I'm gonna dash over here. I guess I can ult maybe. Looks like we're gonna die here probably because it'd be nice if I could finish the horror, I guess. Feel like we might have got the horror down. No worries. Yeah, they did a big pull with the carrion horror. Multiple casters, the horror getting its thing off. We got low. Aggro was all over the place and all that sort of a stuff, so it's fine. This could very well be sort of what it's like if you're, you know, just starting out. Oh yeah, this is a new healer, a new tank, and a Rime with some experience. So yeah. Shouldn't necessarily expect to like queue into Contender 4 like I did in the first video, and just that just that you're gonna, you know, immediately have a group that sort of knows what they're doing, and you're gonna just have no item level and just get through stuff immediately. I guess it's nice when it happens, but probably shouldn't have even spent there. It was about to die. But this will be a good look at kind of what it's like with just, yeah, kind of a more legit feeling normal group. And we're doing fine. I mean, it's not taking too long. I mean, we did wipe once, fighting off a little bit more than we could chew, but yeah, this stuff just gonna die. Okay. Other Rimes maybe a little quicker on the button than me, because looks to have a bit more experience playing at least Rime than I do. This one back here, I'll kick it to bring it in, which I've mentioned before. Okay, okay. Alright, this would be a big pull to do. Try and move out of that. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a single target on this. Might cost me a little bit of damage, but yeah, I probably could have stopped that cast from getting off had I just cast one more instant speed cold snap there, but yeah, those horrors are probably the most dangerous thing that you'll find in this place. The kidnappers, if they get their kidnap cast off and they drag you through the purple spiderweb puddles that the some of the mobs cast, that can kill you too, potentially. Alright, our ultimate's up. Okay. Looks like I should probably single target this guy. Probably gonna go ahead and use ultimate on this pole.
Bear witness to winter's wrath.
I'm gonna just try and single target this guy down, I think. Make it a little easy for us. Okay, and we've got our kill score 100%. Really didn't take that long, even mostly just doing kind of some small pulls, wiping once. We're at the boss, no worries. And on this boss, it summons ads. It, occasionally casts webs that you need to break. You need to, like, run away from the person that you get webbed with. So we'll AoE down, use our AoE spender on the ads there. And now that we're back to her, we'll just go back to single target, I guess. Got a cold snap I can spend. Just try to move out of the way of that. I had to... Ooh, you don't want to get hit by that. And if you do, you want to use something, probably. She rains down this, this poison around the time the ads usually die. And it kind of stacks up, so... Does some damage and stacks some damage, so the healer wants to... There's the web. They need to run away from each other or they're going to get stunned. And yeah, easy peasy. But yeah, the venom that rains down, it puts like stacking damage on you, which someone wants to mass dispel. You can cleanse yourself, you can use a personal or something like that and get through it. We get a relic, which we don't have yet, so there's some more stats for us. Humming Portal Stone, this one just puts a portal up if you want to use it, so we'll throw that on, and then in the meantime, every dungeon we do, we unlock rewards, we get a little bit stronger, so let's see what we get here. A new ability, Flight of the Navir, 60-second cooldown. Probably pretty strong. Where is it? This one. Put that here. Oh no, I had it over here. Guess I don't know. Maybe I'll put it on both for now. No, I'll leave it over here. Okay, so this one we summon 5 Frost Swallows to circle above our head for 20 seconds. And our Cold Snap and Freezing Torrent, when we cast them, send the birds above our head to shoot down on enemies, dealing damage to them. So that's pretty good. So it's on a 60-second cooldown. We want to use our... Oh wait, this is 60, this is 120. So yeah, I mean, we kind of just want to use this when it's up, I guess. And preferably, I guess, before we use our Cold Snaps and before we use our Torrent for the first time. So that we get full use out of those. And we got a new piece of gear. The trinket, we can put it on. And this one, because I have click to cast on, it's just going to drop the second half of this portal wherever my cursor is, and then we can take it to teleport, and then you have a portal sickness once you use it, so you can't use it again for 20 seconds. So, yeah. Alright, I'll be back in a minute when the next queue that I get into pops. While I wait in queue, I'm going to go ahead and talk about, I guess, gearing a little bit more for people that are interested in that sort of thing. I mean, people, I think, tend to be too focused on gear in the game. Gear is a bit of a crutch that helps you get stuff done. there's different reasons to get it, particularly at this point in the game. One could be, I mean, potentially, you know, you can have some bad luck with some groups, and you can spend a while in queue. Sometimes people will see that you're, you know, like the first group I got in the first video I played, I mean, I came in at item level 0.4. The other people were like item level 40. They ran with me anyway. We were able to clear like contender 6s and stuff like that, you know? Some people are very picky and they'll go like, you know, like, I mean, say this healer that we have. This healer could go, hey, I'm item level 34. I don't want to group with this Rime who's item level 0.4. I don't want to group with this Rime who's item level 14, so I'm going to dodge and not play, right? So as you do get these dungeons done, you can spend your supplies to get this starter gear. So I don't know how many we've earned. I haven't exactly been keeping track. We might have earned as many as 30 supplies. Maybe a bit less, but I know we've earned some. So you could get all this starter gear, and now I'm putting on item level 15 pieces, or if you're getting enough supplies, you can buy item level 75 gear, which is higher than the item level that drops from Contender 6, and just throw that on. So like right now, I could get, you know, 150 more item level and just throw on, you know, a helmet and a cloak or whatever it is. If I want to, if I'm having any problems with Q, if I'm upset about my damage or something like that, if I just don't feel like I'm pulling my own weight, I have that ability to do that. And particularly for anyone that might have alts, you know, if you're looking at how alts and stuff like that work in the game, I've got all this gold. I mean, I don't think that these items cost much to upgrade, but you can upgrade them far past the point that you really need to queue for the capstone and beat the tier. This is an item level 45 weapon that dropped, so for 19 gold I can get it up to item level 60 if I want to, and then it'll go up from there. But you can see in Eternal you earn a lot more gold per run. Your items are worth a lot more, so you can just like fully upgrade this stuff if you want to. And then later, when you scrap it, which I'll go ahead and scrap these wrists. I don't want to re-roll them into anything, I don't think. But I could scrap this for 13 gold. And when you upgrade the items, you get a portion of what you upgraded them into back when you scrap them as well. So the long story short here is that I think we might need item level 60 to queue for the capstone dungeon of this tier. I'm currently at 14. But suppose, like, I'm in the situation that I'm in, where I'm not trying to make a video of kind of how to start from nothing. You can, you know, do a couple runs, potentially, get a couple of these items, grab a couple of these 75 pieces, and, like, upgrade everything to the max with your gold. And you can also re-roll items, which I don't recommend using if you're on a fresh account in these early tiers. But if it's an alt or something like that, I can re-roll these bracers using these mithrils into a different piece. So I'll show you how that works really quick. You come over here to this guy, Master Craftsman Bragi wrists, and we got one as a reward already, an unstable mithril. So if I wanted to, I could use an unstable mithril to turn this into a random item of a different slot type. So I've got 260 wrists. So right now I could re-roll this, and it could turn into one of these other slots that I don't have, and I could upgrade my item level that way. Again, I don't recommend that you do that really before Eternal League in this game, but again, if it's an alt character and you're just trying to go for speed and get through stuff as quickly as possible, you definitely could. If I wasn't sort of probably making these videos, I probably would go ahead and spend some supplies, get some more pieces, upgrade my stuff, and just move on. But for the purposes of making the video, I'm not going to do that just yet. So that's kind of how that stuff works. That's just your early gear. Once you get to, I think it's item level 60, that's when you can queue for the capstone. So that group disbanded, got to queue again. And I'll see you when the queue pops. Alright, got a queue. Looks like it's going to be Sailor's Abyss 4, so... Got our new Flight of the Navir ability to try to incorporate into things. see how this goes. Okay. Eh. I don't know. Feels weird at the moment. But that's okay. Well, stuff's dying pretty quick here. I think we're in a group this time with a couple people with some higher item levels than me, which is not that hard to accomplish right now. Definitely want to kick that Call of the Abyss that this thing does. That thing does a lot of damage. It goes off. The shadow bolts it does are less important, so just try to focus on at least kicking that if you're playing solo. Okay. Alright, this stuff just all died before I could even do much of anything. That's fine. These Corsairs, they cleave. That's a little bit annoying. The Water Elemental, you usually want to try to stay close to, because it does that Hydro Bolt ability that it just casts, which it only casts if you're at range of it, or someone in your party is at range of it. So everyone kind of wants to stack, which I maybe did not do there. Oh, we're getting dragged by this current that we're in. This curse puts a dot on people. I think it just got on me, so I'll use a personal. Cannot interrupt that, but you can CC it if you have a crowd control, which I currently do not, I don't think. And yeah, stuff just kind of dying too fast for me to contribute a lot on some of these pulls, which is fine. Here's the Deep Bound Magi again. Going to want to kick the Call the Abyss cast if we see it. I guess I have some other abilities I haven't been paying attention to that are been off cooldown for a while, so that's bad, but again, you can kind of see that it doesn't maybe matter that much sometimes. Sure. All that stuff got used. Got ult. Not much of a pull for an ult. And yeah, we're already done with enemy forces here, so time to move on to the boss. Not sure what all abilities she'll have at this level. This is what, Contender 4? Guess we'll see. I think I'm gonna be... She screeches, you can hide behind this pillar to not take damage from that, which you would like to do. Binding Strike, she puts that on a person, in this case me and the tank. And you take damage the further apart you are, so you want to stay on the tank with that. Then she flies up in the air, you need to click this pillar before she flies up, otherwise she will pull you off the edge, which is not good.
Bear witness to winter's wrath!
Undertow is a curse that she casts on people that does damage and can be dispelled. And when it's dispelled, it leaves a puddle on the ground, but we killed her before we even really got to see that, so... Dungeon done, and wow, very unlucky. Get another of the same weapon that we already have. But that's okay. So there's that dungeon. Pretty easy peasy again. Happy to do some more with this group if they'd like to continue. But we'll see. I will be back when and if the next queue pops. Oh, I guess we got rewards, of course. After every dungeon we get rewards. We get a talent row. And some gold. 20 gold. And something else? Oh, we got enough rating now that we get another talent point. So we get 2 talent points. So we can put our talent points in. Not sure what the best thing to pick is. Let me look into it a little bit. Yeah, not totally sure what's best. It's not that important. It looks like, oh, I only have 1 talent point available? I thought I just got 2. I was gonna say, it looks like both Avalanche and Coalescing Frost are good, but without having that, I think I want this thing? Burst Bolter? When my Frostbolt deals damage to an enemy, it triggers a single pulse of bursting ice and generates 2 additional anima, which is kind of the little thing that builds up to your Winter Orbs, so... can apply that. I could have sworn I just got 2 talent points. Talent point, which I... oh, talent row. Right, I unlocked a row. So I had the ability to go into that 3rd row if I wanted to, but then I got 1 point. Right. And coming up next with a little bit more dungeon score, get a random piece of item level 60 equipment, so that'll be nice when we get it. Alright, see you when the queue pops. Alright. Got in a queue, looks like it's going to be a Wyrmheart Contender 5. And yeah, again, looking at the gear, you guys have followed me every step of the way. No, haven't purchased anything, just a couple items that we've gotten out of dungeon so far. See how this run goes. I think this tank is much higher geared, kind of a higher level player. So this run should be pretty smooth. That's another thing about getting out of some of these leagues and stuff is just that, you know, eventually if you just, you know, do groups and stuff like that, you will, you know, run into groups where you can potentially get carried a bit and stuff, which there's really no harm in. But you do want to make sure that if you are in groups that are kind of stronger than you, that you you know, try to practice up and whatnot, so that you don't fall too far behind. I'm right now having quite a bit of difficulty just incorporating my my biggest cooldowns into stuff. And I'm getting hit by all these Tundra Blasts or whatever, because I'm over here on this side of the screen, but whatever. So yeah, I should probably try and start using some stuff here, so... channel this freezing torrent down. Okay, get a campfire, that's cool. Wasn't really paying nearly enough attention to some of the stuff. Sorry I'm struggling to maybe provide some better commentary about some of the things that are going on, so... There is a caster in this pack. There it is, the Chronomancer. The assassin also channels on people. So yeah, that gets kicked. Sure.
This looks fun.
Scholar here. This thing puts an orb under, like, the person that's at, that was a bad use of that ability. He'll put a swirl that spawns an orb underneath the furthest person. Maybe not on this difficulty. Which, if it hits you, it explodes for big damage on the whole group. Usually kills multiple people. So you want to stay out of that, and it also channels this rune on the ground that you want to avoid the cast of. So I'll kick that one. Someone got the other one. Used my CDs here. Have ult up, but probably getting kind of close to doing the boss, I think, so maybe I'll hold it, because I don't know if I'll get another one. And just save it for the boss. Alright, those die. A little bit more trash here. I think this Greater Ice Elemental stomps. Yeah, it does. And it leaves these little swirls on the ground. So you want to stay at range from the stomp if you're a ranged class like Rime is, so that you don't get hit by it, and get out of those swirls and kill it. See, the tank's doing by far the most damage. My item level is extremely low, and theirs is pretty high, so it makes sense.
Bear witness to
Guess
winter's
I'll ult.
wrath.
I don't think I'm really using this completely correctly, but it is what it is. Try to get off these instant casts. I'll kick the Frigid Mists. Guess I still have a couple instant casts left. Alright, now we're moving. Don't really have any instants to cast here at the moment. If I had some of my cold snaps up, I could use it.
This changes nothing.
Spend and spend and Alright. So, Wyrmheart Contender 5, tons of time left, of course. Get some dungeon score for that. We get a cape, we've been looking for that. We get Imbued Mithril, something that I recommend waiting for Eternal to use, but yeah, an item that you could use if you wanted to. And we are unlocking rewards every dungeon, so let's go ahead and throw the cape on. Gives us some more item level. Look at our rewards. We get random piece of item level 60 equipment, marks of fellowship, looks like we got a ring, and we get a new ability, Frigid Winds. Okay, so let's throw on the ring. Let's find Frigid Winds. This one? This is another 60-second cooldown. We oh no, this one, we blast enemies in front of us with Arctic winds, knocking them back and slowing them by 12 seconds. So that's pretty good. That's a good crowd control. Guess I already have that over here, so I can, yeah, use that as my crowd control ability on this character. The same as with Artios. With a knockback, you might want to be a little bit careful with it, but this will interrupt spell casting, so if you've got a pack with a number of casters that are kind of synced up to cast a spell that's pretty threatening or whatever, presumably. I don't know, what's the range on this? Instant. Blast enemies in front of me. Is that enough? I guess so. You can use that to knock them back and stop potentially multiple casts at once, which is a pretty big deal. What about this one? Is this, that's a pretty long cooldown, 60 seconds, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty strong. It makes sense that it would be a bit of a longer cooldown. I guess I kind of wanted to see the range on it. I kind of feel like these should show the range somewhere. Maybe it does, and I can't easily tell, but kind of stinks if you're at a range, but you're... Let's see, what about from right here? Will that hit it? Yeah, it does. So it's got a pretty long range on it, at least. I mean, I don't know, it might hit it from all the way back here. I don't know. But, yeah. Do probably one more dungeon for this video, so see you in the next Q pops. Alright, and yeah, got another Q here. I think we maybe picked up a new healer. Again, just solo queuing into whoever wants to play, and this looks like it's a Wyrmheart Contender 5, which I think is what we just did. Maybe it was a 4 before, I don't really know, but yeah, here we go. Gotta try to remember to use my bigger CDs. Again, whenever you play a new hero, or if you're just getting started in the game, just kind of try to notice the things you're doing wrong and just try to improve on them for next time. Alright, those died. What's next? Over here. Okay.
Twilight Shield.
Yes, I got my new knockback ability, so I should potentially try to find some time to use that, I guess. Pick that. Maybe I stopped my channel to do it, which is not great. Yep, that's all dead again. Get the campfire, just like the previous run. Come up here. This is a Chronomancer caster.
Looks fun.
Kick it to bring it into the group here.
Twilight watches open.
Got this thing on me, doing its wicked strikes, which is not great. Okay.
This looks fun.
I guess I can get on the Chronomancer here. Kick that. Forgot to use one of my CDs again here. That's a little bit frustrating. Sure. Definitely a lot of little intricacies and bigger things that I still need to kind of get used to as Rime, but it's going alright. You can see we're not really having any problems at the moment.
Witness my wrath!
Tried to kick that just because pulls like over. Alright, they're all dead again. And I assume we're gonna do this big golem pack like we did last time. Let's get my little AoE cooldown out first here, since we know this stuff's gonna die in like just a second, and then I guess single target. At a range of stomp, so we don't take damage there. Guess I use this again. Single target. And it's dead. And now we're on to the boss. I don't know if I did a good job of explaining this last time, but the boss casts this one ability that's kind of a channel called Frigid Mists, which drops these pools of ice, which it's kind of a small room, so
Twilight watches over.
oh.
Bear witness to winter's wrath!
So you want to kick the channel to cast that one, Frigid Mists, and outside of that, the other cast it does, they hit a random person, it starts to hit pretty hard on higher difficulties, but here it's not such a big deal, I guess I would say.
This changes nothing. You will witness Cithral's power.
And then, yeah, the little pools of ice on the ground that you just dance around, and it's kind of it. She does a frontal, the tank tries to aim it away, you don't stand in it. She also puts like a little dot on people that when it expires, explodes into little ice shards that you might have to dodge around as well. Something for the healer to dispel. We get a new talent point. We got a ring that we put on. Our talent points, since we've got, we'll otherwise have an unspent point, we can take one out of that and we'll, I don't know, I mean, supposedly both of these are good for early level. Let's put it in Avalanche. Our Ice Comet has a 15% chance to hit twice, and a 7% chance to hit 3 times, so it does a lot of damage when it hits, so that seems good. And I'll run one more if this group wants to keep rolling. And we do. Godfall Quarry 6. Sure thing. If you wind up being in a good group and you're spamming Q and stuff like that, I mean, you know, it's okay to decline the Q and,
Twin souls, unleash!
you know. Put your gear on if you want to, but on the other hand, forgot to use my stuff here again. Kick that. Let's try the new knockback. Okay, great. Knocked it back. Yeah, I keep forgetting to use my my big CD first thing in the dungeon, which should kind of be the first thing that you do, really, so that's not good, but that's fine. Guess I can channel it down. I'm not really sure, like...
Twilight ward.
sometimes what order to cast things here. I don't know, I used one thing because it was up, which will now be desynced from some other stuff. Honestly, the stuff just dies so fast here that it's, like, hard to notice at this point. Okay, would have been better to save it for this pull, I guess, so... I'll pick out this bolter here.
Twilight shield.
Kick that Volt Barrage. Guess doing some AoE. Now we're kind of more in single target mode here, so single target burst on this Enforcer should probably take care of it. Guess I can channel this a little bit for some resources, and it's dead. Alright. Okay, so I have some stuff up for this pull, potentially. Double Enforcers, okay. And a Raging Earth Elemental, so... This guy does this ability Shatter, this thing.
Frost,
So I'll use
protect
my
me.
personal, my Frost Shield. Frost Shield is what I'm using when I say personal. These are about to die, so I don't think I'll spend any Winter Orbs on them. Which does a group damage, and then on higher difficulties, those Enforcers become a little bit annoying. They start, they do an ability called Reflect Damage that, you need to kind of move around, move to the other side of, otherwise, all your damage gets reflected back at you, which usually kills you. But it looks like here they don't do it. And these skitter shards, when they die, they leave a dot on people that ticks down for damage. I guess on higher difficulties I don't see any dot here, so... maybe they don't do anything really here, but that's okay. Looks like we're missing a little bit of kill score, but maybe we'll just go back and get it after the boss, I guess.
Bear witness to winter's wrath!
Twilight protect. Gaze upon the void between.
Frost, protect me! Strike at one!
So I don't know, I ulted, I'm just trying to get stuff off while I have instant speed, single target damage that I can do. Look like we got a good bit of that off.
Light is with us.
Now it's not instant speed, so I actually have to cast it, which is a little annoying. Guess I'll
Frost
personal
ward
this.
shields me.
Now maybe I want to save a little bit of resources for, oh yeah, there's no pillars on this mode, huh? I guess I should just drop it back there. My bad. Well, wasted some time there, because thought there were going to be, some things to kill in the back of the room, but that's for higher difficulties than Contender, so there I could have just stayed on the boss. And this guy, the two circles that he puts down there, you want to stack in. Usually want 3 DPS, or the 2 DPS and the healer on one side, the tank on the other, because he does a slam, and you split it based on how many people are in it. And then periodically throws out a mana bomb on someone, which puts a dot on them, and then when it's dispelled or when it runs out, it leaves a bomb on the ground that then eventually explodes and does a bunch of group damage, so you, based on how far away you are from it, so you want to, when you get the mana bomb, It depends on the difficulty that you're on, but usually in higher difficulties in Contender, you want to drop it, I think, in the front of the room here, and the tank can soak it, because in the back of the room, you have 2 sort of ads that you need to kill. But here in Contender, where there are no ads, you'd probably just want to drop it in the middle of the room, so that you can continue killing the boss, since you don't have any ads to deal with, so that's nice. Alright, and we just got another relic, level 60 relic, so we throw that on. Rewards just popped, we get another ability, Winter's Blessing. That is cool. And we can put that on a button. Right, so that's a 60-second cooldown as well, which increases our damage, I believe. Sure, one more even. Let's do this Urrak Markets 5. And then we'll close out the video. When you're rolling with a group, when you're in a queue, play as long as you can. Take advantage of that. Sometimes queue times can get a little bit long. You don't know what type of group you'll run into, so yeah. Yeah, Spirit is increased for 20 seconds, which increases our damage, and it also increases, like, healing that we get, so... that's all nice. Okay. And yeah, just try to get my damage out as quick as possible. This stuff doesn't really live long enough, but yeah, I think I used all 3 of my sort of CDs there, so that's good, I guess. Maybe a sign of progress, who knows, okay. Maybe should have spent here before I do that, since I'm gonna maybe miss out on some resource generation. At higher difficulties, this guy... Oh, he does it here. Tantrum. So that's group damage, so when you see him cast it, I pop my Frost Ward there. Desecrators drop these little swirls on the ground that you dodge. They also drop a darker solid color swirl that is actually a soak, so if you see that one, you want to soak it. Otherwise, it explodes and just kind of kills your whole group, so you don't want that. Alright, now we go up here. These Horn Seers. They cast Orb of Blood here. They may also do a cast called Sanguine Offering, which is like a bunch of Orb of Bloods all at once. So if they do that, we'd like to interrupt that, because that tends to kill someone or multiple people if it is allowed to just go the full duration. Alright, here's a Horn Seer. So we get on that. There's a Butcher in here. He's tantruming. I guess I'll personal. Guess I can single target it now. It's dead. Alright. Yeah, stuff died pretty quick. This Hellcaller here can cast some swirls on the ground that can be annoying. Ooh, and it can also cast a heal. Guess I'm not making good use of my knockback yet. It's one thing I could definitely work on. A lot of things to work on still here with new character, but that's okay. We've got a lot of time. We're just in Contender. As stuff lives longer and you get a little bit more time in some of these pulls, I think that in some sense that can
Witness my wrath! Frost ward,
I'm not
shield
sure I really wanted to do that here, but maybe. I don't know how many ults we'll get per dungeon. Probably not enough. But yeah, I ulted. I probably should have ulted earlier in the pull. Alright, sure. Yeah, I'm like still generating winter orbs. Whatever. As pulls last a little bit longer, you'll get a little bit more time to kind of like react and also sort of see how your rotation plays out over a bit of a longer period of time. Right now, it's just kind of, you know, stuff's dying before I can sometimes use all my spells or get good use out of all my stuff. At least with this group. I guess I can interrupt that orb of blood.
my ward
Tantrum, I guess I can personal it. We're still missing a little bit of kill score, but I guess maybe we want to do the bosses. How do I do these? I guess I'm not sure.
This is your doing, I'll skin you alive.
I guess I want the tank to keep them close together for cleave purposes.
and the wind delivers my wrath.
I want to kick them.
Frost
This
ward,
guy
shield
tantrums too, just like the smaller mobs, so you want to use your personal when it does that. The other mob has a kick. You want to interrupt that sometimes. You also want to try and keep their health even, because they
My ward shields me.
they get stronger based on how much health they're missing in comparison to one another.
You might free these slaves, but more deals are being made across the jungle.
And yeah, they summon these scythes that you want to avoid, and they put a dot that drops roots on the ground so that when the big guy spins and tries to drag you into the scythes, oh, I was just trying to use my my little knockback there because I saw with some casts with an opportunity to use it, but yeah. Sure. Oh, we got a helmet. I don't think we have one of those yet, so that's good. And we leave dungeon. Again, this is just fast and furious here. Rewards. Okay, we unlock the end of this thing. We get gold. We get a cosmetic. We get just gold over here. And we got a new piece of loot to throw on. So now we're item level 32. Making our way up. I know I keep saying one more, but yeah, sure, one more. We're rolling. Let's do it. Silken Hollow 6 now, so we'll get probably a piece of item level 60 gear from this. We've done this place already. Let's try to remember to pop all my stuff here first pull. Where's the butcher? I don't even see it. Okay, well, whatever. Better just cast before it's all dead. There it is, the Bully Basher. That's what I really wanted to get on. Sure. Pick up these little damage swirls on the ground. They maybe increase your damage a little. It's not really... I've never found it to be all that noticeable, to be honest with you. Just using our AoE damage on these. Much as we can. Okay, pick up some damage buff. Got our flight of the something back up, so we'll try to use that here. I think that syncs up really well with our other 60-second CD, so as sort of a shortcut, we should probably basically just be using them at the same time, if I had to guess. Probably should be trying to not cast this bursting ice on like low health targets, because it needs to pulse for me to generate resources, so yeah. Oh yeah, I need Heartstopper on me to be dispelled or I will die. Okay, yeah. Those are the Wyrmheart Recluses, they cast that. It's like a long duration just thing that stays on you that if it is not dispelled will kill you, so you want to dispel it. Someone wants to dispel it. I currently don't have a dispel, so that would be up to whoever's got that trinket to do it. Right now this little thing is on me, stabbing my face. It's a little bit of a reason to be closer in here, potentially. Just so that it can get cleaved instead of jumping on me. But there's also other stuff that happens in here, like one of the mobs can cast a poison tornado that you would then have to dodge if you're in here, if it doesn't get crowd controlled, so... some reasons to be at range as well. Okay, so... Kidnapper, okay, the horror. Bursting blood, use my defensive on that. Alright, I can switch to this kidnapper here. Switch to this one now. Guess I can use my bursting ice. Sure. I have my ultimate up, but I don't think I'm gonna get 2 uses out of it, probably. Maybe I'll just try and use it here. No, this pull's kinda... weak sauce, I would say. Just gonna eat this damage because at this difficulty level I just don't think it's gonna do much to me. These little webs that they drop. They become a little kind of hard to see sometimes when after the, like, they're a swirl, but then they just turn into this, which is sometimes not maybe the most visible. So, yeah, be careful for those. Looks like with Rime here, there's definitely some importance on switching your targets because a lot of your abilities do a lot of single target damage, so you kind of want stuff to die evenly, so you might want to switch around a little bit on some of the stuff. Ooh, that's the Heartstopper debuff that just killed this guy, and I've got one on me right now, which just got dispelled, so... I lived, but that person's expired and they just died in a puff of green poison, it looked like. So that's what that does. Okay, sure. I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna pop stuff, I guess.
Tremble before my wrath!
Got tagged by that venom pool, which is definitely not what you want, because it hits really hard. Maybe not on this difficulty, but on most it does, so... Don't want that happening. Here's the Mother's Milk dot, so... As that stacks up, you might want to personal that. I should maybe be closer to my group so that they could mass dispel it off me, but... It's okay. I guess I have some abilities up that I should probably be using. And looks like she's gonna die before the next set of ads come out, so yeah. And this time, yeah, our kill score is completed, so we're done. Level 60 shoulders, those might be an upgrade. I think we have shoulders, but I don't know. Take a look. We have level 30 shoulders, so we can throw those on. Rewards. Rewards for every dungeon. A talent point. Oh, maybe it was a talent row. Right, I get tricked by that every time. So instead of getting a talent point, we unlock the next row, the ability to put stuff there, but we don't actually have the talent point to do it with yet. Sure, why not? One more. Make this a very long video. Alright, Stormwatch Contender 6. We've done this place before. I don't know if I explained the last boss that well. Try to this time, as well as some of the other stuff. Makes it a little bit difficult to explain some of the things as well when it's, you know, the stuff's dying pretty fast, and it doesn't necessarily have all the abilities that I'm used to it having. So it feels a little different, and I was not exactly sure what it's gonna do. But yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start out, we're gonna want to use our CDs on things. Probably gonna pull this Executioner too, so...
Run away before I bleed you dry.
There was a caster in here, this Invoker, but it looks like on this difficulty it just probably cast a bolt, which is not such a big deal, I guess. On higher difficulties it has another ability called Wither, which you do want to interrupt. Haven't seen it here yet. Contender. The Executioner builds up stacks on the tank, so... You a little bit want to priority kill that, I suppose. But I'm gonna switch to something else here. Kind of balance out my damage a little bit here. Okay, I have some CDs to use for the next pull. My little birds and my healing thing. Oh, maybe I don't want to use it on this. I should have just used bursting ice here, probably. It's probably enough. Just kill them with that. I don't know what they do here on higher difficulties, though. Those rats can be a little annoying. Usually these arsonists you want to kick, but this flame blast ability doesn't do a ton. It's a big frontal that'll do a lot of damage if it hits you, but if the tank angles it away, it doesn't really do anything. Or if you step out of it, it doesn't do anything. At least to you. Maybe it hurts the tank. Actually, I'm pretty sure the tank can just sidestep it as well, so once it targets where it's going to land, so... yeah. Guess I'll kick a Shadow Bolt. Sure. Let's do some AoEing. Switch to this Cutthroat over here. Guess I'll single target it since it's higher than everything else. Instead. Alright, we're gonna take all the pillagers into this guy, so that's fine. Pick that Dread Arc. Definitely good to kick the other cast as well, but this difficulty level, I think as long as you kick the Arc, you're probably going to be fine. Yeah? Between Artios and Rime, just based on my very early play here with Rime, I think I feel pretty strongly that Rime is probably going to be easier to play than Artios. In some sense. Okay, Dread Arc got kicked.
Bear witness to winter's wrath!
Kick that Dread Arc. It's also really nice that in comparison to Artios, Rime has like tons of just immediate sort of burst damage. So you can blow up, like, I'm not very good at it yet because I haven't sort of played the character much, but you can just push buttons and do a good amount of single target damage for priority kills or like random ads that come up that need to die in a certain period of time. Whereas Artios takes a while to build up because you put your dots on and they just kind of tick for nothing and do nothing until you know, detonate them, or more time elapses. So yeah. Rewards. There's our talent point. Let's go ahead and spend the talent. It's 1 point, so let's just put it here for now. It's fine. Back in just a sec. Anyhow, yeah, that group was great. They were wanting to see if maybe I wanted to do the capstone or whatever, but I wanted to get off of here. Would have been nice to do, but I figured that maybe for the purposes of recording some of this stuff, I would maybe try to spread it out a little bit more. Our item level is only 34.5. We should really be item level 60 to do it. I mean, I'm sure we could do it with that group with that, but feels a little early and a little bit, you know, maybe unrealistic or whatever. So just want to run in there right now. It's not really a big deal, but I think that the stat priority for Rime kind of goes haste, crit, expertise, spirit. So if you do get a duplicate piece of gear, you can look at your stats, your secondary stats on it, and see which is better. So we already have level 60 shoulders. These are crit spirit with heavy spirit. And these are haste expertise with heavy haste. So this item seems like it would be a little bit better. It's not going to matter that much, but we can throw that on. Again, you can just sell the stuff that you're not using for the most part. I would not recommend that you use rerolls on it, but of course if it's an alt character and you want to speed yourself along or something, feel free. A lot of different ways to get through stuff quicker if you have an alt. And yeah, I mean, just right now, I know that we got 8 supplies from a run not that long ago, so I'm not sure how many I've generated, but I could spend these supplies and just get, you know, chest, glove, boots. They'd all be item level 75, and we'd need a neck. We could maybe get that too, and we'd be, you know, pretty much ready for the capstone if we wanted to. So, yeah. But in any case, yeah, this has been part 2 of the, I guess I'm calling it Contender to Eternal with Rime. Just kind of showing how some of the early gameplay goes. Again, don't be afraid, I guess, if you're playing, to sort of, you know, go at your own pace. I mean, you can play with friends and just all learn together. As you saw some of those early contenders, there's no timer. You can definitely take your time in there, learn things. Not a big deal. You can go with slower groups and get the stuff done. As you see, none of the runs I've been in have really seemed to be remotely close to failing. Seems like everyone's being nice and all that sort of stuff. If you get in a group where there's higher item level and they're going really fast and stuff is dying too fast, if you want to take the chance, then, or if you're enjoying that sort of experience, then sure, you can go through the dungeon and get sort of like carried through a little bit. Stick with that group, you'll bang out the gear and bang out the dungeon levels pretty quick. But the caveat to that is it might go too quickly for you if you're trying to learn mechanics or what things do or learn your rotation, stuff like that. And then when you hit the next league, which will be significantly tougher, it can kind of hold you back. So practice on the training dummy, you know, try to brush up a little bit in between sessions of play to see what your abilities do, what your rotation should be, maybe what talents you want to use or something. You don't have to go too hard on it, but, you know, the point at this point in the game is to just try to improve a little bit every time you play. You notice that I'm not, you know, I mean, look, I have my experience playing Artios at a, you know, reasonably high level, I guess, but, you know, I'm not too picky about what's going on at this point in the game, because I know it's a little bit of a long game, and at this point, a little bit of gear, you know, messed up rotation, not using things 100% correctly is kind of not going to make the difference, as long as I'm, you know, I don't know, mostly just dodging swirls on the ground, maybe using interrupts from time to time, maybe using my defensive ability from time to time. You know, all of that sort of stuff is more important. Like, at this point in the game, damage tends to not be the reason why you don't time dungeons or complete runs or whatever. So, in any case, thanks again for watching. If you've enjoyed this content, then please don't forget to give a like and subscribe on the video and on the channel, and I will see you in the next one, where we will do some more Contender, and then eventually, I guess, probably do the capstone and move on to Adept League. So, have that to look forward to. See you then. Bye.